If you're curious about why I sound weak and dying, that's because I am suffering with a heavy cold and a diarrhea. So making this video was not really particularly hard, but I had to sort of force myself to get out of bed to make this video. Hello people and welcome. Today I will be talking about all the new stuff that has been coming up with the new Dying Light 2 a Nightmare Mode update. There's really not much else to really talk about, but without wasting any more time, I'm just going to get straight into it. One thing you're going to be noticing is that they have completely changed the menu of the game. Instead of Aiden looking over at Villador, instead he looks over at you. They've also changed the UI on some of the certain places for a little bit, which is pretty neat, but I'm not really going to say anything about it. Another thing that they have also added is the Game Over bundle for 600 Dying Light points, so make of that what you will. Firstly, let's talk about the combat stamina that they have mentioned. Combat stamina practically functions as the first game. Whenever you're completely out of stamina, instead of regenerating a portion of it and being able to fight, once you're completely out of stamina, you're unable to swing whatsoever. The only thing you can really practically do is perform a push, like pushing the enemies away with your weapon that you have on your hand. However, your normal stamina, before it is out, it regenerates extremely quickly if you give it some time. However, if you're completely out of stamina, then it will slowly recharge much more slower. This combat stamina that works alongside with both parkour moves and alongside with combat, so be careful of when you use certain things. Another thing that they have also reworked is the power shot skill line. They have reworked it to where release it at the perfect time and you'll be able to deal some major damage. Basically what it means is whenever you're aiming down with a bow and you start to draw it out, Aiden will begin taking a deep breath and there will be a sound effect playing in the background and the screen will be much more blurry. This means that your next shot against infected or inhuman enemies will deal bonus damage and pierce through them. This is a really nice feature and I do think that it makes the bow a bit more deadly than the guns, but you know, I'm not really going to say anything. I like this little rework. If you're wondering, this does not work with guns and it does not also work with crossbows, so that's a sad part. Another thing that they have also done is rework over 70 cutscenes entirely, and some of them have improved the dialogues and some of the animations for NPCs, but I'm too lazy to really find them because I am terribly sick and I don't really have time to look for that. But know that there are over 70 cutscenes that have been significantly improved. Another thing that they also added is co-op community maps. I don't really play community maps, so make up that what you will. Another big thing that they have also added is a gear loadout system. Whenever you open your inventory and you look over to your right, you will begin to notice that there are 4 numbers. Each of the numbers represents your loadout. Your current loadout that you'll always use in the Dying Light 2 will be selected as loadout 2. Instead of having to constantly change your loadout in your equipment, weapons, and armor every damn time when you want to try something new, you can simply select the loadout, select the armor and the weapons you need, and you can instantly switch between them much more quicker. This is a really good system that I feel like should have been added earlier, but you know, it's better to get it later than never, which I think is pretty cool. Another thing that they have also said is scalable FOV player correction. They've said this: we've added a slider allowing you to adjust the FOV and find something that best suits you. I didn't really notice anything different, but please correct me down in the comments if there is anything different. During Nightmare Mode, regardless of what type of enemy type you're fighting, whether that be a human enemy, biter, volatile, or virals, they will always have their HUD elements completely hidden for you. You are not able to see how much health they have and how much of the concussion meter they have, aka the white bar underneath their health. In Nightmare Mode, enemies have slightly more health and do a lot more damage. Even though I am wearing the tank outfit, these enemies do a lot of damage. The only big threat now in the game is the volatiles. Another thing that they have added is a level 5 chase theme. Another thing that they've also added is a level 5 chase. Basically, instead of having 4 chase levels, there's actually 5. And what exactly happens when you're in the 5th one? Well, volatile tyrants will begin to spawn much more frequently, and they're extremely tanky and extremely dangerous. They will be able to pierce some of your armor and be able to do a significant amount of damage, but be aware that they jump along a route, so you're going to have to be dodging a lot. Another thing that I've also begun to notice is, I could be wrong about this one, but I think they've removed the slow-mo effect whenever you perform a certain skills. Example being that whenever you perform a perfect dodge, there is a slow-mo effect, but I'm guessing in Nightmare Mode it completely removes it. Again, I could be wrong about this one, but please let me know down in the comments. One big change that they did is they nerfed the viral jumping, making it where they don't really grab you that much or break the laws of physics that much. As you can see from the clip, normally you would get grabbed here, but because of this update, the viral's grabbing is much less effective. They won't break the laws of physics that more often, and you're able to dodge them much more quickly. Another thing they did is they reduced the amount of volatiles that are roaming around the map. But another thing I forgot to mention is that you won't be able to see the detection meter when they see you, so you're gonna have to be much more cautious of where you roam. Another thing that they have also significantly changed is the inventory. Normally when you pause in your inventory, the game pauses it entirely, so you're practically completely safe and allows you to organize your inventory without being in danger. Instead, right now in Nightmare mode, the game will not completely pause. Not right now, in Nightmare mode, whenever you're in your inventory, the enemies will still continue to attack you, and the game will just continue as normally as it does. And for some of you greedy users, I'm not really particularly sure if they fixed it, but because I've never used it, or I never use it, I'm not really sure if there's any different or they fixed it, but I've heard on Twitter that they broke it, but again, I could be wrong about that one, so let me know down in the comments. Like I said, there's really not much else to really talk about other than the fact that it's a small update that brings in a lot of huge things. But I enjoy this update. But regardless, I hope you enjoyed this video. I wish you all the best and have a great day. I'm gonna go to sleep now.